We're talking about maps that were drawn roughly between the 1300s and the 1700s. In other words, in relatively recent history.
Graham Hancock, a prolific researcher and theorist, has once again captivated our curiosity with a startling revelation. His recent explorations into ancient maps have unveiled secrets that might reshape our understanding of human history. These cartographic documents, surprisingly accurate in detail, suggest the existence of a prehistoric civilization with an advanced understanding of the world. Hancock posits that these maps, remnants of a long-lost era, may hold clues to a past that mainstream archaeology has yet to fully recognize. As we journey through this video, we will delve deeper into these implications and the mysteries they unravel. The mystery of lost civilizations. The concept of a civilization vanishing from memory seems improbable in an age where information and history are meticulously documented and preserved. Yet the Earth has borne witness to numerous empires and cultures that flourished and faded, leaving behind only enigmatic hints of their existence. The reasons for these disappearances range from natural disasters and warfare to gradual societal declines. However, when an entire civilization seems to evaporate without a trace, one is compelled to ask, what could have possibly eradicated it so completely from human memory? One prevalent theory that emerges when trying to decipher these mysteries is the occurrence of global cataclysms. The Earth's history is peppered with dramatic shifts in climate, cataclysmic events, and geologic upheavals that have often reshaped its face and, by extension, the fate of its inhabitants. Among these events, the Younger Dryas episode stands out as a particularly potent and enigmatic period. Lasting approximately 1,000 years, this sudden return to Ice Age conditions after a noticeable warming trend had profound impacts on both the environment and human societies. The Younger Dryas, named after the alpine tundra wildflower Dryas octopetala, which proliferated during this time, was characterized by a sharp decline in temperatures. It disrupted the previously warming trend of the Pleistocene epoch and brought about dramatic shifts in global flora and fauna. While there are several theories about what caused this rapid climatic shift, ranging from changes in ocean currents to cosmic impacts, the prevailing consensus is that it was a massive, sudden event. For burgeoning human civilizations of that era, the impacts of the Younger Dryas would have been catastrophic. A sudden drop in temperatures would lead to reduced agricultural yields, making food sources scarce. The populations that depended on farming and animal husbandry for sustenance would have faced famine and societal upheavals. Migration patterns would shift as communities sought more hospitable lands, leading to conflicts and territorial disputes. Moreover, rising sea levels and altered landscapes would render previously flourishing regions uninhabitable, further displacing communities and erasing traces of their existence. Amid these drastic changes, it's conceivable that a sophisticated civilization could perish, its legacies buried beneath layers of earth or submerged underwater. Over millennia, the collective memory of such civilizations would fade, their stories transitioning from historical accounts to myth and eventually to oblivion. However, such oblivion is rarely absolute. Fragments of these lost civilizations might persist in oral traditions, buried artifacts, or, as Graham Hancock suggests, in ancient maps that hint at a level of geographical knowledge and exploration prowess that seems out of place for their purported age. In considering the implications of the Younger Dryas episode and its potentially apocalyptic consequences, one must also grapple with the idea that our historical understanding is constantly evolving. Conventional timelines, once believed to be set in stone, are now continually being challenged and expanded upon. The ever-advancing tools of archaeology, combined with interdisciplinary research, are slowly filling in the gaps of our knowledge. As we excavate ancient sites and decipher age-old manuscripts, we often find evidence that suggests a richer, more intricate tapestry of human history than previously believed. The notion that a lost civilization with advanced capabilities might have existed during the tumultuous period of the Younger Dryas is both fascinating and daunting. It compels us to reconsider our anthropological narratives and contemplate the fragility of human societies. Civilizations, no matter how advanced or vast, are at the mercy of the planet's unpredictable dynamics. Their legacies, however enduring, can be concealed by the sands of time, awaiting rediscovery by future generations. The changing world landscape during the Ice Age. The Ice Age, an era that spanned millions of years, brought about a profound transformation in the Earth's landscape. Amidst the encroaching ice and the shifting climatic patterns, some of the most recognizable geographical features of our world underwent astonishing metamorphoses. From the vast expanse of the Sahara to the dense canopy of the Amazon and the fluctuating sea levels, the face of the planet was in constant flux, giving rise to landscapes both alien and fascinating. In today's world, the Sahara stands as a vast desert, its golden sands stretching as far as the eye can see. However, during the Ice Age, this was not the case. Instead of the inhospitable and arid terrain we're familiar with, the Sahara was a vibrant and fertile region, teeming with life. Verdant grasslands and dense forests dominated the scene, sustaining a diverse range of flora and fauna. Rivers and lakes punctuated this lush landscape, providing life-giving water to the creatures and early human societies that thrived there. This green Sahara was a cradle of life, its fertile plains a stark contrast to its current desolate state. Yet as the Ice Age waned and the world's climate began to shift, so too did the Sahara. The once plentiful water sources began to dry up, and the greenery slowly gave way to the encroaching desert, leaving behind only echoes of its once vibrant past. Parallelly, thousands of miles away in South America, the Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of our planet, experienced its own set of transformations. Today, the Amazon is characterized by its thick canopy and diverse ecosystem. But during the Ice Age, parts of this massive forest might have looked quite different. While the exact nature and extent of these changes remain a topic of scientific exploration, it's widely believed that parts of the Amazon might have been more savanna-like, interspersed with patches of dense forest. As the climate warmed and rainfall patterns changed, these grasslands gradually gave way to the dense, sprawling rainforest we recognize today. Yet despite its thick cover, the Amazon still guards its secrets well. Only recent advances like LiDAR technology have started to reveal the enormous structures hidden beneath its canopy, hinting at ancient civilizations and their long-forgotten legacies. However, one of the most dramatic changes that occurred during the Ice Age was the rise and fall of sea levels. As vast ice sheets covered significant portions of the Earth's surface, enormous volumes of water were locked away. This resulted in sea levels that were up to 400 feet lower than they are today. For human societies of the time, this would have meant that the coastlines, where many would have settled for their rich resources, were much farther out than they are today. The prime real estate of that era now lies submerged beneath the waves. As the Ice Age came to a close and the ice began to melt, these sea levels started their inexorable rise, flooding vast stretches of land. Entire landscapes, settlements, and potentially even civilizations were swallowed by the rising waters, leaving behind only watery graves. One such intriguing location is the Bimini Road, located near the Bahamas. Today, this underwater formation, comprising massive, regularly shaped blocks stretching over 1,000 feet, lies submerged about 20 feet beneath the surface. Its very existence raises a multitude of questions. Was it a natural formation or, as some, including Graham Hancock, believe, the remnants of an ancient, now submerged civilization? And if the latter, what other remnants of our ancestors' legacy remain buried beneath the waves, waiting for discovery? The enigma of the Bimini Road. Off the western shores of the Bahamas lies a submerged formation that has for decades puzzled historians, archaeologists, and divers alike, the Bimini Road. A long, meandering stretch of gigantic, uniformly shaped limestone blocks, the Bimini Road is an enigma that has both fascinated and divided the scientific community. The Bimini Road, or the Bimini Wall as it is sometimes referred, stretches for more than 1,000 feet under the azure waters of the North Bimini Island. The blocks, some of them enormous in size, are aligned in what appears to be a deliberate, man-made pattern, leading many to speculate about its origins. This underwater road isn't just a straight line either. It possesses a curious J-shaped curve, adding another layer of mystery to its already puzzling existence. For many, the sheer scale and symmetry of the Bimini Road point towards a human origin. Graham Hancock, among others, is convinced that this structure is far from a mere quirk of nature. Hancock, after diving to observe the formation firsthand on multiple occasions, contends that its symmetry, the seemingly deliberate arrangement of blocks, and even the smaller rocks used to level and prop up the megalithic blocks are telltale signs of human involvement. Contrasting sharply with this perspective is the mainstream scientific community's belief. They argue that the Bimini Road is a natural formation, a result of the fracturing of beach rock over time. According to them, the patterns, while striking, can be explained through natural geological processes. But the intrigue surrounding the Bimini Road doesn't stop with its formation. Equally puzzling is its appearance on ancient maps. The Bimini Road, given its current underwater location, has been submerged for approximately 6,000 to 7,000 years. This submersion timeline, anchored in our understanding of post-Ice Age sea level rises, implies that the last time it was above water was during the tail end of the Ice Age. Now, this is where things get even more perplexing. The famous Piri Reis map, drawn by a Turkish admiral in 1513, features a depiction of what appears to be the Grand Bahama Banks, and intriguingly, a structure bearing a striking resemblance to the Bimini Road. How could an ancient map feature a formation that was submerged thousands of years before the map was made? Piri Reis provides a hint. He claimed that his map was based on over 20 older source maps, now lost to time. These ancient maps, he believed, might have originated from the esteemed Library of Alexandria, eventually making their way to Constantinople. If the claims are accurate, it implies a startling revelation: that ancient civilizations not only had sophisticated mapping capabilities, but also had knowledge of geographical features that were submerged long before their time. This notion challenges conventional historical timelines and raises the tantalizing possibility of advanced ancient seafaring civilizations, their legacies now buried beneath the waves. The debate over the Bimini Road's origins and its depiction on old maps is emblematic of a broader conflict between alternative history proponents and mainstream academia. It's a clash between those who believe that history, as we understand it, has significant gaps, hiding advanced civilizations and global cataclysms, and those who adhere to established timelines and narratives. The Piri Reis map, an unexplained anomaly. Historical discoveries often force us to reassess our understanding of the past, and among such discoveries, maps have always had a particular allure. They chart our knowledge of the world, marking not just territories, but our evolution in understanding, exploration, and cartography. Few maps in history, however, have stirred intrigue and debate quite like the Piri Reis map. Crafted in 1513 by the Ottoman Turkish admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, this world map is far more than just a navigational tool of its era. At first glance, it appears to be a relatively standard map for its time. However, upon closer inspection, it contains geographical details that challenge our conventional understanding of historical exploration. For instance, the map portrays the coastlines of South America and Africa with surprising accuracy. But what truly boggles the mind is its representation of the northernmost part of Antarctica. Not only is the portrayal itself unusual, but this frozen continent wouldn't be officially discovered until the early 19th century, roughly 300 years after Piri Reis inked it onto his parchment. Antarctica's mysterious cartographic appearances. Antarctica, a frozen expanse covering the southernmost tip of our globe, remains one of the most enigmatic places on Earth. Its inhospitable environment and remote location meant that it remained one of the last places to be officially discovered, with explorers first setting foot on its icy shores in the early 19th century. Yet, perplexingly, certain ancient maps depict a landmass where Antarctica now resides, raising a myriad of questions about our understanding of history and the extent of ancient explorations. The existence of this continent on older maps is not merely a curiosity, but rather a profound anomaly. For how could a region, isolated by ferocious oceans and impenetrable ice, be documented in an age bereft of satellite imagery and advanced maritime technology? The Piri Reis map of 1513 is perhaps the most famous example, but it isn't alone. The Orontes Phineus map of 1531, another product of the Renaissance period, depicts a sub-equatorial land with features oddly reminiscent of Antarctica's topography, albeit free from its defining ice. Another even more puzzling example is the 1424 chart by the Chinese admiral Zheng He, where a mysterious southern landmass is hinted at, sitting comfortably below Africa. The discrepancies between these maps and others from different eras are jarring. In some, the Antarctic landmass is sizable and proximate to other continents, suggesting a world different from the one we know today. In others, it's a mere shadow, an undefined territory that speaks to the tantalizing idea of an unknown terra incognita. Yet the question remains, are these genuinely representations of Antarctica, or do they symbolize the cartographer's mix of knowledge and speculation? And if they are indeed depictions of the frozen continent, how did ancient civilizations gain this knowledge? Several theories have been proposed to explain these mysterious cartographic appearances. Some historians and researchers propose that the maps are evidence of advanced ancient civilizations with sophisticated navigational tools and knowledge, possibly hinting at global voyages that predate our current understanding of history. Others speculate that these maps might be based on even older sources, perhaps handed down from generation to generation, their origins lost to the annals of time. Yet another perspective is that of geological shifts. Some proponents suggest that these maps, particularly the ones showcasing an ice-free Antarctica, indicate that they were created during a warmer period when the continent was not covered in ice. This idea, while captivating, requires a significant realignment of our understanding of Earth's geologic and climatic timelines. Critics, on the other hand, caution against drawing any hasty conclusions. They argue that it's all too easy to see patterns or make connections based on limited evidence. To them, the depiction of a southern landmass on older maps could be artistic embellishments, speculative insertions based on the belief that there must be a vast land in the south to balance the known lands of the north. In truth, the appearance of Antarctica on ancient maps remains a conundrum that defies easy explanations. Each map, with its unique characteristics, offers a piece of the puzzle, but the complete picture remains elusive. Given the impossibility of this knowledge according to conventional timelines, questions inevitably arise. How could Piri Reis have known about a landmass yet to be discovered? Was this purely conjectural, or was it based on older, more accurate source materials? Piri Reis himself provides a clue. In notes accompanying the map, he reveals that it was not solely the result of his own explorations or knowledge. Instead, it was a composite, pieced together from more than 20 older maps. These source maps, he claims, were not mere contemporary sketches of the world. They were relics from an earlier time, and some, he suggests, might have even originated from the legendary Library of Alexandria. This library, considered one of the most significant repositories of knowledge in the ancient world, housed countless scrolls, texts, and perhaps, as the admiral suggests, maps from civilizations long gone. If Piri Reis did indeed have access to maps from the Library of Alexandria, it opens the door to an even greater mystery: the possibility that ancient civilizations had a far more comprehensive understanding of the world's geography than we currently credit them for. Such an assertion, naturally, is laden with controversy. Skeptics argue that the map's anomalies, including the depiction of Antarctica, could be mere coincidences or artistic liberties. Yet defenders of the map's authenticity and its ties to lost knowledge argue that it offers a window into an age where seafaring civilizations, yet to be recognized or understood by modern archaeology, roamed and mapped the Earth. Beyond the tantalizing connection to the Library of Alexandria, the Piri Reis map poses a deeper question about the nature of historical knowledge itself. It forces us to confront the idea that historical understanding is not linear. We do not simply progress uninterrupted from ignorance to enlightenment. Instead, knowledge can be lost, only to be rediscovered, repurposed, or sometimes forever buried in the sands of time. Human evolution and civilization. Timelines. The tapestry of human evolution is an intricate one, woven over millennia and interspersed with turning points that have shaped our history. While there is consensus among scientists about specific milestones, there's still much we're uncovering about the path of our ancestors. A central theme in this unfolding story is the emergence of anatomically modern humans and the subsequent advent of civilizations. The quest to delineate this timeline doesn't merely satisfy our historical curiosity. It has profound implications for understanding the potential existence of advanced ancient civilizations. The current understanding places the emergence of anatomically modern humans, Homo sapiens, at approximately 300,000 years ago in Africa. Genetic evidence, coupled with fossil records, pinpoints the early emergence of our species to regions of East and South Africa. From this cradle, our ancestors embarked on a grand journey, populating the globe's nooks and crannies. Yet the rise of civilizations seems to have a much shorter timeline. The accepted narrative places the dawn of civilization at around 10,000 years ago, a fraction of our species' total existence. This raises a pertinent question. If Homo sapiens have been around for roughly 300,000 years, why did it take them almost 290,000 years to form what we recognize as a civilization? The question itself embeds a presumption that civilizations must evolve linearly, and that earlier human societies were less complex or sophisticated than the later ones. But could it be possible that our species, in its long history, had moments of advanced societal structures, which for some reason did not persist or have left very little trace? The gaps in the timeline open the door for speculation and wonder. Given the vast swaths of time, it's conceivable that there were periods of enhanced human development and societal sophistication, which we are yet to uncover fully. With the majority of our history as hunter-gatherers, there's an inherent difficulty in finding tangible evidence of past cultures, primarily when they're transient or when their structures are made of biodegradable materials. Moreover, the Earth has undergone substantial climatic and geological changes. Rising sea levels, tectonic activities, and natural cataclysms could have easily wiped out traces of early human settlements. The Younger Dryas event, a sudden and dramatic return to glacial conditions around 12,800 years ago, for example, is believed to have had significant impacts on human societies of the time. Events like these could have caused societal resets, pushing communities back into hunter-gatherer modes or obliterating them entirely. Another critical point to consider is the subjective definition of advanced. Does advancement only entail constructing massive stone structures or developing writing systems? Or can it also refer to profound knowledge of the stars, sustainable living, or a deep understanding of nature and its rhythms? Perhaps some ancient cultures, while not advanced in the way we often measure, had rich and sophisticated understandings of the world, which were lost as the sands of time shifted. If we entertain the possibility of ancient advanced civilizations, it necessitates a reevaluation of our past. It also underscores the fragility of human progress. Civilizations, despite their grandeur, are susceptible to the whims of nature and the challenges of sustainability. Survivors and the legacy of lost civilizations. History is peppered with tales of great civilizations that rose to dizzying heights, only to crumble under the weight of their own success or external pressures. From the lost city of Atlantis to the enigmatic builders of Stonehenge, these cultures have captured imaginations for generations. Yet, amidst the narratives of their decline, a seldom discussed theme emerges: the resilience of their survivors and the indelible marks they left behind. As cataclysms changed the face of the planet, small pockets of these bygone eras weathered the storm, ensuring that the legacies of their forebears lived on, if only in whispered tales and cryptic ruins. The cataclysmic events that could lead to the fall of a civilization are many: climatic changes, warfare, pestilence, or perhaps even encounters with celestial bodies. Such apocalyptic episodes would undoubtedly have had a profound impact, wiping out a significant chunk of the population. However, it's almost a given that there would be survivors, groups of individuals who, through a combination of foresight, luck, and adaptability, managed to endure the hardships. These survivors would be instrumental in shaping the world in the aftermath. Facing a changed world, they would be repositories of ancient knowledge, both practical and esoteric. With a responsibility to rebuild and repopulate, their choices and actions would significantly influence future generations. They would have had the arduous task of recapturing and preserving the essence of their once great cultures, ensuring that the echoes of their ancestors' achievements persisted. In the vast Anatolian plains of modern-day Turkey, there lies a stunning testament to such survivors and their undying will to remember. Göbekli Tepe. This archaeological marvel, often referred to as the world's first temple, dates back to approximately 12,000 years ago, a time when mainstream history asserts humans were nothing more than hunter-gatherers. The sophistication and scale of Göbekli Tepe defy this notion, suggesting a level of societal and architectural expertise that's simply out of place in that epoch. Here, in these T-shaped limestone pillars arranged in circular formations, we see an endeavor that likely required not just architectural acumen, but also organizational skills and a shared spiritual or cultural purpose. The intricate carvings of animals and symbols on the pillars seem to speak of a deeper knowledge, perhaps an understanding of the cosmos, natural cycles, or even spiritual beliefs. The very existence of Göbekli Tepe, built during a period close to the end of the last ice age, strongly suggests that its constructors were survivors, or descendants of survivors, of some preceding advanced civilization, striving to preserve and pass down their profound knowledge. The enigma of Göbekli Tepe serves as a poignant reminder that civilizations, even after their sunset, can leave behind legacies that reverberate through the ages. The survivors of these lost empires, be it through their genes, tales, traditions, or structures, can play a pivotal role in shaping the trajectory of human history. They become the guardians of ancient wisdom, the bridge between epochs, and the torchbearers who ensure that the past, with all its glory and lessons, isn't entirely forgotten. Such archaeological sites and the mysteries they encompass challenge our linear perspective of human progression. The idea that complex structures like Göbekli Tepe were built at a time when humans were supposedly nomadic suggests that our story might be more cyclical than we believe, with peaks and troughs of civilization that rise, fall, and rise again.